very good evening and welcome to the news tonight, where we get you the day's top stories. I'm Tracy Shilshi. Let's start the show with the headlines. BJP National Executive meets in Bhubaneswar. Prime Minister Narendra Modi leads the host of delegates to chalk out strategy to strengthen the party's base ahead of the 2019 Lok Sabha polls. India calls off the maritime security dialogue with Pakistan. Delegation led by Pakistan's Maritime Security Agency denied clearance amid tensions over death sentence to alleged Indian spy Kulbhushan Jadhav. Sixteen people are injured after 8 coaches of the Meerut-Lucknow Rajya Rani Express derails near Rampur in Uttar Pradesh. Railways Minister Suresh Prabhu orders an inquiry into the accident. National Conference President Farooq Abdullah wins the Srinagar by-election, defeats ruling PDP's Nazir Ahmed Khan by over 10,700 votes, while in Sikkim the SDF wins the Upper Bartuk seat. The BJP's two-day national executive meeting began in Bhubaneswar today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Party President Amit Shah and veterans L.K. Advani, Murli Manohar Joshi are among the top 300 leaders attending the meeting. This includes 40 union ministers, all chief ministers from the 13 BJP-ruled states and 7 deputy chief ministers. This was the party's first conclave after registering a massive victory in Uttar Pradesh in the recently concluded assembly elections. The party is likely to chalk out a strategy for the upcoming assembly polls in 16 states in the next 2 years, including Odisha and the Lok Sabha elections in 2019. The BJP emerged as the number 2 party in the Odisha local elections, pushing Congress to the 3rd position.
हार को स्वीकार करेंगे, लेकिन अब वो हारने का बहाना ढूंढ रहे हैं और उस बहाने में ईवीएम की चर्चा हुई है कि इस साल होने वाले हिमाचल प्रदेश, गुजरात और कर्नाटक के चुनाव में भी निर्णायक विजय प्राप्त करेंगे। ऐसे बहुत सारे क्षेत्र हैं जहां बीजेपी को आगे बढ़ना है। केरला, तमिलनाडु, त्रिपुरा, बंगाल, तेलंगाना, नॉर्थ ईस्ट के कुछ क्षेत्र, इन क्षेत्रों में भाजपा का विस्तार होना है और वर्किंग कमेटी के सारे लोग 15 दिन समय देंगे, बूथों पर जाएंगे और रहेंगे और अध्यक्ष जी स्वयं इस कार्यक्रम में 3-4 प्रदेशों में बूथ पर रहने वाले हैं।
All right, so there is, of course, the union minister there giving us an idea of what is coming ahead, at least as far as the BJP strategy is concerned. Like we pointed out, of course, 16 states going to polls, 6 states going to polls, and of course, out of that, Odisha is one of them, where, of course, today this national executive meet is taking place today and tomorrow as well. Tomorrow in the evening, early evening is when, of course, Prime Minister Modi is supposed to be addressing the meet. Today, of course, he had a rousing welcome on the streets of Bhubaneswar, where, of course, he took out a road trip of sorts, the motorcade, of course, going to the location where the national executive was being held, and the kind of reception that he's been getting, political pundits, of course, saying that this is a change that perhaps Bhubaneswar is waiting for, but, of course, it's in 2018, in fact, where we'll get to see what eventually lies for the BJP in the state. But we do have to let our viewers know that in 2017 itself, in the Panchayat elections, the BJP did surge quite ahead, making a big chunk, in fact, out of the Congress and the BJD's vote. Meanwhile, results of the by-polls of Srinagar Lok Sabha seat and Sikkim's Upper Bartuk Assembly seat were declared today. Farooq Abdullah won the Srinagar by-poll, while SDF's Dilli Ram Thapa emerged victorious in Upper Bartuk. Here are the details.
National Conference President Farooq Abdullah won the Srinagar by-poll, defeating ruling PDP's Nazir Ahmed Khan in one of the bloodiest elections in the state. Targeting the PDP government for the violence, Farooq Abdullah said the government failed to provide security to the people. He also demanded president's rule in the state.
इस इलेक्शन में कई लोग गोलियों के शिकार हैं, अस्पताल में पड़े हुए हैं, कई लोग जेलों में डाल दिए गए। ये इलेक्शन मैंने नहीं देखा अपनी जिंदगी में, ऐसा इलेक्शन जहां ऐसी हालत हो। अफसोस इस बात का है आज भी सरकार टस से मस नहीं हो रही है और मैं गवर्नर से अपील करता हूं और प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडिया से अपील करता हूं कि इस हुकूमत को बर्खास्त करके प्रेसिडेंट गवर्नर रूल लगाया जाए।
8 people were killed in the violence during the by-poll to Srinagar Lok Sabha seat on 9th of April that recorded a low voter turnout of 7.14%. The repolls that were ordered for 38 booths witnessed the lowest ever percentage in the state's history, with a mere 2% people casting their votes. Meanwhile, in other by-poll results announced on Saturday, the ruling Sikkim Democratic Front candidate Dilli Ram Thapa defeated BJP's Suresh Khanal Sharma to win the Upper Bhutak Assembly seat. Polling at Upper Bhutak Assembly constituency in Sikkim was held on 12th of April. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Now, amid tensions between India and Pakistan over Kulbhushan Jadhav, India today cancelled maritime talks with Pakistan. The Ministry of Defence has not given a clearance for the Pakistani delegation that was scheduled to visit New Delhi to take part in the talks between the 16th and the 19th of April. Meanwhile, Pakistan's Dawn News Agency reported that Pakistani police in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir arrested 3 people suspected to be raw agents. We are waiting for more details on that and, of course, of the MEA to give its response on that particular development in POK. Meanwhile, in other news, 16 people were injured after 8 coaches of the Meerut-Lucknow Rajya Express derailed near Rampur in Uttar Pradesh today. The accident took place at 8:15 a.m. between Munda Pandey and Rampur railway stations. Railways Minister Suresh Prabhu ordered an inquiry into the accident. While UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has announced 50,000 rupees each for the seriously injured and 25,000 each to the injured. Operations on the Delhi-Lucknow route was severely hit as dozens of trains have been indefinitely delayed.
यहाँ पे एक पटरी को वेल्ड किया हुआ था, उस जहाँ पे वो पटरी वेल्डेड थी वहाँ से ब्रेक हुई है और जिसकी वजह से ये हादसा हुआ। 8 बोगियाँ डिरेल हुई हैं, जिनमें से एक पलट गई थी।
हर घटना हमारे लिए चुनौती के रूप में आती है, उसको हम सीरियसली लेते हैं। इसकी भी पूरी विस्तृत जांच होगी, कारणों का पता लगाया जाएगा और करेक्टिव मेजर्स जो भी हैं वो लिए जाएंगे।
And staying with UP, raising the EVM tampering issue again, Samajwadi Party chief Akhilesh Yadav said that electronic voting machines cannot be trusted. Raising questions over the BJP's win in Uttar Pradesh Assembly elections, Akhilesh said that the Election Commission should answer on cases of EVM tampering, as they themselves admitted that the machines can be tampered with. He demanded that future elections should be conducted through ballot papers. The former UP Chief Minister also accused the BJP of misleading people in the name of caste and religion to garner votes. The BJP, of course, rubbished the charges. On Friday, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal too demanded that the municipal polls in the national capital be postponed by a month or 2 till arrangements are made to use VVPAT-equipped machines along with EVMs. His proposal was rejected by the State Election Commissioner though.
ईवीएम कब खराब हो जाए, सॉफ्टवेयर कब धोखा दे जाए, कैलिब्रेशन चलते चलते बिगड़ जाए, ये मशीन है, मशीन पे कोई भरोसा नहीं कर सकता। अगर वो 100% भरोसा कर सकते हैं तो हम भी कर सकते हैं, लेकिन अगर आपका ही 100% आपको धोखा दे रहा हो, आपको स्वीकार करना पड़ रहा हो कि कैलिब्रेशन ऑफ सॉफ्टवेयर में गड़बड़ी है, हमें 100% भरोसा अपने बैलेट पर है। हम आने वाले समय में चाहते हैं कि चुनाव बैलेट से हो, ये मांग हमारी समाजवादी लोगों की रहेगी।
मैं समझता हूं कि चुनाव आयोग ने हमेशा ये कहा है कि उसकी पारदर्शिता के बारे में कोई प्रश्न चिन्ह कभी भी नहीं रहा है, तो इस तरह के सवाल उठाना वो खिसियानी बिल्ली खंबा नोचने वाली बात।
Several parts of the country reeled under heat wave conditions, with the temperature in the national capital touching 41 degrees on Saturday. While many people in Varanasi avoided the outdoors, in Bhopal they struggled to beat the heat by crowding around juice shops. Here's a report.
Severe heat wave conditions were seen in several parts of the country on Saturday, with the temperature hovering around 41 degrees Celsius. Uttar Pradesh's Varanasi remained deserted for most part of the day as local residents and tourists alike prefer to stay indoors.
Well, I try not to dress so hot and I try to be in the shade a lot, not always in the sun, and yeah.
What do you eat for here? Very hot time to what do you fruit?
Well, I eat a lot of fresh food, watermelon, mango, papaya, yeah, stuff like that. Coconut as well, yeah, which is refreshing, which is important against the heat.
Madhya Pradesh also reeled under severe conditions with the mercury touching 43 degrees in 7 districts. People in Bhopal crowded juice and lemonade shops to beat the hot weather, while commuters shielded themselves from the scorching heat.
अभी जो ये गर्मी पड़ रही है वो बहुत ही ज़्यादा हार्मफुल है सभी के लिए क्योंकि आई थिंक 45 डिग्री सेल्सियस जो चल रहा है अभी या उससे ओवर ही हो रहा है तो वो हम सिर्फ ना कि इंसानों के लिए ना इवन बर्ड्स के लिए जानवरों के लिए पक्षियों के लिए सभी के लिए बहुत ज़्यादा हार्मफुल है.
The Met Department predicted similar conditions over the next few days as well.
अगले 24 घंटों में मौसम शुष्क रहेगा और तापमान भी लगभग 40 से 43 के बीच में ही रिकॉर्ड होने की संभावना है.
With expectations of return of the El Nino weather pattern, meteorologists have predicted a hot summer with lesser rains than previous years. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Now with that, let's take it through what else is making news across the country today in Nationwide. 8 college students from Karnataka's Belgaum district on Friday drowned in the sea off the Vairi coast in Sindhudurg district of Maharashtra. According to police, the victims were part of a group of 60 students from the Maratha Engineering College in Belagavi who were in the area on a picnic. 3 students were rescued and are under medical observation. Suspected Naxals killed a person and set more than 6 vehicles on fire in Bihar's Lakhisarai district earlier today. According to police, terrorizing people and collecting levy could in fact be the main reasons behind this incident. At least 26 shops, 6 residential buildings and several vendor huts were gutted in a major fire in Jammu and Kashmir's Doda district today. There are no reports of anyone getting hurt in the incident so far. Preliminary reports suggest that a short circuit caused the fire. Police have started an investigation now into the incident. Night curfew continued in Bhadrak city of Odisha and also through Saturday, despite the town returning to normalcy after the violence on the 6th and 7th of April. As many as 146 people were arrested in connection with the violence that was sparked by alleged abusive remarks against Hindu deities on social media. Meanwhile, the process to assess the damage caused in Bhadrak was carried out on a priority basis and a detailed report is being prepared. Violence broke out in the town on the 6th of April after a group staged a demonstration near the town police station. They were demanding the arrest of those involved in posting alleged offensive remarks against Hindu deities on social media. With a quick break here, up next we're getting international news. Stay with us.
Mihir Sen, an outstanding and extraordinary saltwater swimmer of India. He is the first Asian to swim the English Channel way back in 1958. And just 8 years later, in 1966, he swam the 7 seas of the 5 continents in 1 calendar year, which etched his name in the Guinness Book of World Records. In 1959, he was also conferred the Padma Shri, and in 1967 he was awarded the Padma Bhushan.
The subject that I work on is called string theory. It in fact took 10 years to discover this. So one of the reasons why string theory has not been dead is because it is a fully mathematically consistent theory. Scientists really don't work for money.
Watch Eureka with Dr. Ashok Sen, Professor at Harish Chandra Research Institute, Allahabad, only on Rajya Sabha television.
Lights, camera, action. Bengali filmmaker Satyajit Ray, one of the veterans of the 20th century cinema. Credited with having directed 37 films, which includes feature films and documentaries, he is also a renowned fiction writer, publisher, illustrator, graphic designer and a film critic. Numerous awards were bestowed on Ray throughout his lifetime, including 32 National Film Awards and a number of awards at international film festivals, including Dada Saheb Phalke and an Academy Award for Lifetime Achievement.
Art arisen from a multi-hued cultural canvas. Tradition and cultural fervor dating back centuries. And encircling them all, there's a magic that awes. Embrace your nation's brilliant human warmth. Watch Colours of India, Sundays at 9:30 p.m. on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. Let's get to international news. And the number of militants killed in Afghanistan after an attack by the largest non-nuclear weapon ever used in combat by the US military has now risen to 94. The initial figure given by Afghan officials for Thursday's strike was 36. The number of dead could rise as the damage at the bomb site in Achin district is still being assessed. The strike that targeted a network of underground tunnels in Nangarhar province is estimated to have killed at least 4 IS group leaders. The Islamic State was using the fortified tunnels to stage attacks on government forces. Thursday's attack was supported by the Afghan government that said that the blast destroyed 3 underground tunnels as well as weapons and ammunition, but no civilians were hurt.
There will be no sanctuary for Daesh in Afghanistan. With these operations being conducted by the Afghan army, with us working in partnership, we will remove the sanctuary in Afghanistan so that fighters may not flow from Syria to Afghanistan. This is the objective of the operation, and the Afghan army has been extremely effective in this. So if this is recognized by the neighbors and recognized by the region, then this is a very positive thing.
In fact, the top US military commander there in Afghanistan has said that the decision to use a powerful bomb in the country was based purely on tactical considerations. General John Nicholson said that the most powerful non-nuclear bomb ever used by the US in combat had been the right weapon to target a suspected Islamic State base in Nangarhar province. He added that a 300-meter-long network of tunnels and caves was destroyed.
This weapon was the appropriate weapon to use against this target, and prior to this we didn't have such a target. I am fortunate in that my chain of command allows me the latitude to make assessments on the ground, to operate within my authorities. Of course, we communicate constantly up and down the chain of command about what we're doing here on the ground. This was the right weapon against the right target.
North Korea held a massive military parade on Saturday showcasing new weapons to mark the 105th anniversary of the birth of its founding president Kim Il-sung. Members of the Navy, Army and Air Force marched in formation, followed by tanks and armored vehicles through Kim Il-sung Square in central Pyongyang. 2 types of ballistic missiles also appeared in the parade for the first time. The show of strength comes after the country warned the US not to take any provocative action in the region, saying it was ready to hit back with nuclear attacks. Leader Kim Jong-un also watched the country's first parade in a year and a half, along with others from the balcony overlooking the square.
위대한 영도자 김정일 동지의 불멸의 태양계를 만일 미국이 무모한 도발을 걸어온다면 우리 혁명 무력은 즉시 선멸적인 타격을 가할 것이며 전면 전쟁에는 전면 전쟁으로 핵 전쟁에는 우리식의 핵 타격전으로 대응할 것입니다.
And with that, let's take a look at what else is making news across the world in Global Buzz. At least 19 people were killed and 12 others injured in a garbage dump fire at Colombo in Sri Lanka. More than 100 houses were completely destroyed. Over 400 troops were deployed for rescue operations. A mountain of garbage caught fire and collapsed as residents were celebrating the traditional New Year on Friday. Several thousand people were evacuated from 4 besieged towns in Syria. The citizens from 2 pro-government towns in the northwestern province of Idlib are being transported to government-held areas. The 4 towns were under siege since 2015. Last month, United Nations described the situation in the 4 towns as catastrophic, with more than 64,000 civilians trapped in a cycle of daily violence. Many people are reported to have died as a result of shortages of food or medicine. At least 14 Houthi militants were killed in the city of Midi of Yemen. This comes after Saudi-led Arab coalition launched the airstrike. According to the Yemeni government sources, the militiamen were killed on Thursday when coalition aircraft targeted Houthi concentrations in the area. The city of Midi was captured by Houthi rebels in 2015. However, the movement has lost control of the port after the Saudi-led coalition launched the offensive. At least 97 African migrants are missing after their boat sank off the Libyan coast. A total of 23 migrants were rescued around 10 kilometers off the coast of Tripoli. The boat's hull was completely destroyed. According to reports, 15 women and 5 children are among those still missing. Rescue and relief operations are underway, but the chances of finding more survivors are slim. Three days of mourning has been announced for the victims of a massive fire during a Muslim religious retreat in Senegal. The death toll from the fire rose to 25 on Saturday. The blaze broke out on Wednesday afternoon as worshippers gathered near the town of southeastern Senegal. According to police, a gas cylinder exploded as the pilgrims prepared tea at the retreat site. All right, let's change focus now and get you some sports news. And in badminton, it will be an all-India men's singles final at the Singapore Open Super Series badminton tournament on Sunday after Indian shuttlers B. Sai Praneeth and Kidambi Srikanth won their semi-final matches comfortably. Praneeth defeated 3-time Korea Masters gold champion South Korea's Lee Dong-hyun by 21-6, 21-8. In another semi-final, former world number 3 Srikanth beat Indonesia's Anthony Ginting by 21-13, 21-14. Yesterday, Rio Olympic silver medalist PV Sindhu made an exit in the quarterfinals after losing to 4th place Carolina Marin of Spain. The pair of Ashwini Ponnappa and Sumit Reddy too bowed out of the mixed doubles. And ace Indian QS Pankaj Advani won his 7th Asian title by defeating Saurav Kothari 6-3 in an entertaining final of the Asian Billiards Championship in Chandigarh. The first session saw Kothari run away with a 3-1 lead before the interval. However, the 16-time world champion came back in a stunning fashion to win the next 5 frames on the trot to clinch the title. Advani will now switch to snooker to compete in the Asian Snooker Championship in Doha, which begins on the 22nd of April. And that's all we have for you in the news tonight. Thank you so much for joining us.